Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, meathead. But you're not the only one. These guys have 30, 35 years in the business. But they're embarrassed. You know, they've been finger fucking with this thing. No. That line of credit now
belongs to the business.
They can't go get another line of credit. That line of credit is burned out.
No.
But you need it to close.
You're borrowing $800,000.
So then what you do is the first cash flow from the company, you pay the line of credit down. Line of credits are supposed to get paid down every year. Some do, some don't. But you're going to pay 1% thereabouts for that line of credit every year on renewal date, whenever the renewal date is.
And Ilya, to answer your question, when the seller gets the operating line, he gets it in the business's name. The operating line is on the business. The seller takes the money, and then when you close the deal, now you become the person responsible for that line of credit and the business. He takes the money. He doesn't give it to you. It's his money.
He puts on the card forever. But you pay less for the business, but at the same time you have that money.
No,
there.
You're paying the same for the business. This isn't a greasy way of being able to get the business for cheaper from under them. This is the seller basically. The seller is helping you fund the fucking thing.
Yeah, the seller is getting you.
He's helping self-fund it.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So on the $6.6 million revenue you pay, he's going to have $600,000 in the line of credit.
Correct.
Yep.
And you're only paying $6 million for the business.
Correct.
He's not including $600,000.
No, because he's already taken that.
Asking price.
It's part of the asking price, but he's taking it before you even close the deal. And so, okay.
He's taking it, but he's leaving it in the business.
No, it's his money. He's taking it out because that is a part of the money that you're giving him. It's part of the purchase price. It belongs to him, not you. And the seller or I are not obligated to tell the bank I'm dealing with that the seller's doing that, are we?
No.
And that's how you overfinance a deal.
Well, that's one of the ways, yeah, correct.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And, well, maybe, I doubt very much if anybody's teaching this. When I went to Penn and all these schools, nobody's teaching this. Nowhere. Well, first of all, the professors don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know. And as soon as you use the words overfunded, I mean, blocks go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made the mistake of saying it to my CFO and board members early on. And they looked at me like deer in headlights. Why would we overfund the deals? Because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Amazing. Can I ask you, Mr. Peña?
Sure.
You say whenever you go to refinance, you should pull money out during that event.
I would, because you never know when Peru's going to get invaded by Colombia.
Yep.
You never know.
It could happen to my businesses now.
Or, God forbid, Iraq invades Kuwait.
Yep.
And you lose 85% of your net worth.
Yep. When you do that refinance and you're going to pull that money out during that event,
you're paying your debts. Okay, you're paying X off with Y, but you refinance it for Y plus D.
Okay.
So the overfinance, part of it you're going to put in the pockets of the shareholder.
Yep.
You're the biggest shareholder.
Yep.
And occasionally you have some employees you want to pay some bonuses to.
Got it.
But mainly in the beginning, in the few years that you're doing this, the only beneficiaries are the shareholders.
Got it.
Which are all you guys.
And is it done?
And the biggest beneficiary is you.
Got it. And is it done in the form of a cash bonus, a dividend, a capital gain?
No.
Or the answer is the cheapest?
Bonus. Cash bonus.
The most tax effective. Oh, cash bonus.
Yeah, not dividend, no.
Okay, got it.
The overfinance that you do, let's say 20%, you split it out like a dividend.
Well, no. You let's say you overfinance for $1 million. I take a toy of it, 300-some thousand, put it in working capital in the bank, and I take 2/3 of it, $600,000, and I take maybe $350,000, and I spend $250,000 on the rest of the board.
Yeah, and we all pay our taxes. There's no bullshit about evading tax.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Then you run like a thief in the night. But I used to say that. I run like a thief in the night, all those words, and I say, but the banks are desperate for, oh God, fuck. I don't even take phone calls from banks this time of the year because I know what they want. I put out 2 calls to my billionaire mentees that are sitting on hundreds of millions of cash. And I said, you want to get involved in a couple of deals? If the kids fail, I can, I'll put them in your direction, and you can buy directly into the deal. Not loan, buy directly into the deal. And I'm sure you're smart enough to know you're going to be buying at a discount. When the fiscal year ends in 4 days, and they need money, but I have to recuse myself because I'm conflicted. So I don't know if those guys, the 2 guys that I told, and the 3 groups that I told, whether they're doing anything. I said, I don't want to hear about it. You got to work it out yourself. And Gutierrez, the cadaver, he's a hard money lender. He makes loans like this at the year end, taking advantage. Well, and he is a usurious hard money lender. I'll give you money for a month for 50% interest, and I'll take 20% of your deal.
Wow.
I used to be the same kind of hard money lender.
And when there's people out there desperate enough, they'll do it.
Fuck! We could line up, we could fill this room up. 500 people. Easy.
Wow.
And then he goes and shows them how to refinance it over a few months to make sure that, the ownership in the deal that he's taken is worth something. And then he normally has some sort of clause where he gets to put the stock back to you, and he makes them, so he gets paid 3 times. And that's why all these big companies are sitting on cash. Because when the big fucking 1,000,000-foot wave comes, and it's coming, the guys and gals and the its that have the cash are the ones that not only survive, but make enormous, or Guy Jormant, or I forget the word now, profits. And banks can only lend money out as a usury rate in every country, every state. They can only lend money at certain rates. They can't go above certain rates. Individuals, some states, there are usury rates. I don't know about Canada.
I've heard the term.
Yeah.
Don't know what it means.
When
All
you
right.
were referencing using the line of credit to pay off fees and things, you mentioned earlier about using the line of credit to pay off fees at close.
Yeah, because
it's going to you mean the seller fees?
You do 100% seller finance, first 2 or 3 deals, nobody got paid. So on the 4th deal, and it'll be bigger because remember the stepping stone. The 4th deal, it's got a $2 million line of credit, and you pay the fees from the first 3 deals, and the 4th deal, and you put some money in your pocket. I overstretched. I wasn't so worried about putting money in my pocket because in my entire life, except for those 2 times the banks froze on my bank accounts, I've always been able to generate cash. That's why they call me the Midas touch, because I've always, when somebody needs 20 million, like Sally and I, when we were in Toronto, the old Citibanker guy that I had dinner with, even back then, and that's why the Canadians brought me Microsoft, Canadians bought me Nike and this shit, because I was doing those big deals seemingly effortlessly. They weren't effortless, but they seemed effort. And so when somebody needs $25 million, and doesn't have to go through a loan committee and doesn't have to do this shit and the other thing, it's like I mentioned a couple of days ago, there was a Trump outing that was $250,000 a plate, and somebody got crashed in a plane. So there was 2 empty seats at a front table, and they didn't want that front table to be empty. And so one of the guys, Army guy, who's part of, ex-Army guy, I should say, who's part of Trump's staff, called me on Thursday for a deal that was going to be Saturday, because he knew that if I wanted to, I could put up $500,000, a ticket for Sally and myself to sit at this table. We were going to sit with Mrs. Trump, Milana. But I had just been pissed off because they stood me up. I went to a deal and Trump didn't show up. Plus, we had conflicts in our scheduling. I said no, but I didn't pay $250 for the seats that he didn't come to. I only paid $25,000. But I had invited 3 people, and they put up money, so I paid their tickets back to them because I felt, to the extent I feel guilt, that you put up $25,000 that you scraped together to come to the fucking deal. Then Trump didn't show up, but you only put up $25,000 because I told you I was doing it. So then I bought their 3 tickets for them, Mar-a-Lago. And it took us 3.5 hours to get in Mar-a-Lago through security. 3.5. What I should have done is gone to my mentee who lives across the street from him the night before, and he suggested that. Come over to the house. It's one of the Gooma brothers. Come over to the house and stay with us, and we'll just trot across. There's a special little place you trot across if you're one of the neighbors, and you've already been cleared for security. But when we were there, I saw convicted bank felons that were cleared for security. I mean, Trump doesn't give a shit about it. He stole money from a bank. To answer your question, yeah, you pay the fees. So, but by the time you do 4 to 6, depending on how stupid you are and how teachable your board is, 4 to 6 deals and you're running full speed. If your car can do 500 miles an hour, you're doing 550. But depending on how teachable. Because almost all these things we talked about, I didn't do myself. And remember, it's really important. I said at the end of Raymond's deal, which you haven't seen, 95% of this I have never heard of, seen, or done in my, at that time, 49-year career. Which reminds me, is there a video, maybe it's Raymond, now that I think about it, that, because tonight there's no movie, it's on your own again, that, now I'm just going to show it, I'm not going to ask you whether you want it or not. The Raymond thing takes you from A to Z. Tenth of a yard by tenth of a yard. I mean, every fucking...
But you must know all of that stuff.
Raymond was the one with the spreadsheets.
Oh, we had more than one spreadsheet. But Raymond is the bald guy that 2.5 hours. It took him 800 days to do a deal, and he stood here, and some people, and he got tired. I wasn't, because it was a night deal. I wasn't here. And then I came back, and then I heard the end of it, and I said that...
If they want to watch it, sir, after this hardcore, they'll have access to the catalog.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they should watch it here because I'm not going to be there to answer questions when you read it in the catalog. You see, after you go to hardcore, you have access to the library. Yeah. And we don't tell people that. Maybe we should, anyway. So that is extra sauce. But see, I don't consider listening to these guys a learning experience, and it sounds awful. And you guys do. Because it's so ingrained in me. You know, it's like, what comes after A, B? You know, it's just, but maybe you should see it anyway. But you didn't see it because he came after your time. But he goes through step by step. And he makes it sound easy, but it's not easy. I mean, it's tedious, but the challenge is he did everything. He didn't have his lawyers and accountants do everything. He did everything. So you understand the full flow of process. You know, you're going out to catch a big wave, okay, and you loosen up, and then you go and you paddle out to the big wave, and then you wait for the wave, and then you stand up and you do this and that. Then you ride the wave to the very end, and then his presentation ends. But I mean, we have a few guys that do it that way, but that's a lot of work. But now he doesn't do any of that. But he wanted to understand the process more so than anything. It's better to understand it. I didn't understand it, so you know if you're early on if your board fucks up. You know early on if the accountants fuck up. You know early on if the lawyers fuck up. And when you know every single step, which I didn't, then you know, and they do screw up. But if you hire the best money you can buy or that you can't afford, they rarely fuck up. But occasionally they do fuck up. And there's all kinds of excuses why they fuck up. It doesn't matter, you know. The guy's wife died, and that's awful. But I mean, they should take him off the case then. Put somebody better if he can't stay focused. We had a lady. She used to suffer from a heavy menstrual cycle. A lawyer, I still remember, sweetheart of a gal. And whenever that happened, if you were in the middle of a deal, I mean, not everybody, but she lost focus, and the deal didn't get done right. So I convinced her that she should probably not be. She should delegate enough or have her juniors know enough that she doesn't have to be at all the closes of these deals. And she finally did, embarrassingly. And I didn't do it to embarrass her. But she was a rough, not old, a rough middle-aged hag. But these people are engaged in service businesses. It's like buying apples at a motherfucking store. You can buy apples almost every place. Some places, like the what's that? Good Food or
Whole Foods?
yeah, have better, fuller apples. Okay, a little bit more money. Okay, and they're snack nice. Okay, but you can still get fucking apples every place. Or you can buy hamburger or whatever it is. And these people know it. They should know it. And if you can't get a hold of these people, and Simon Bell, who those of you that heard him, they ask when they can take a vacation from Simon. We'd like to go skiing in March. And Simon will say, well, March doesn't look good. We should be coming up to close in Indonesia late February, which means April. So you go skiing after the fucking deal closes. But I mean, Simon and Marcus Bauer and Jason Nagy, they made these guys partners and they've earned millions of dollars at their individual firms. But if you don't hold them accountable, When I left Siemens after 10 years, nobody ever told me this to my face. The happiest day was when they found Siemens. The second happiest day was when I left Siemens. They founded Siemens in 1848. Second happiest day in the history of Siemens, 150-year career, is when Dan left me. Because I busted their fucking nuts. Because I had the heir apparent Klaus.
Which role did you play in Klaus?
In what?
Which role did you play in Klaus deal? In Siemens deal, which role did you play?
I was just the advisor to Klaus Kleinfeld. I was Rasputin in his ear, telling him stuff from 1997 until he got appointed CEO in 2005, and then he left in 2007.